Welcome to the Gear Garage Live Show. This weekly YouTube show covers whitewater rafting, river safety,
oh God, I lost my paddle,
gear, and anything else Zach feels like rambling on about.
Well, happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to the Gear Garage Live Show. This is something I try to do once a week where I answer questions submitted by people through our website. If you want to submit a question, whitewaterguidebook.com, you'll find a place to do it there. And this week we have a very full show, so I'm going to get started. By the way, we're going to do shows on Mondays for the next month because I'm busy on Tuesdays, so it'll be generally Mondays around 2 p.m. And I have my little handy agenda here. Let's put it back up. I want to start by doing a little word from our sponsor, River Hardware, of the show, answer questions, and then talk about a really cool new PFD coming out. And we have a couple sponsors. One of them is GoRafting.com with their super cool app that has river maps on it. I think it's the future of maps. We've talked about it a few times on the show. And I've talked about River Hardware too. This is a website that I run, that I sell these things. This is a really fun hobby for me. I'm just been really digging it. I've been putting a lot of time into it. If you've been to the website, you probably see it's changed a little bit. I'm updating things. I'm adding a few new products. People keep asking me where to buy the Lego rafts. I have pieces. I can make them. If you want to buy a Lego raft, I'll sell them. So it was really fun to put these up on the website. I changed the menu a little bit and have a river rescue gear section and have a few new items up there. And I'll get a few more items, things I like and I use. This isn't just the cheap stuff. This isn't just the stuff I can get easily. These are the high quality items. They're hard to track down. They're also expensive because they're really high quality stuff. So that's the kind of stuff I'm going to sell on the website. Also, these new hats, the one I'm wearing now, the work hat. If you want one of these cool hats, I'm super stoked on how these turned out. There's lots of stuff. So if you want to buy something, cool. If you don't, cool too. It's just been really fun to do, and I'm really proud of it. And I'm just kind of showing it off because I worked on it a bunch this weekend. It's just, fun thing for me to do. And I hope you all enjoy it. So that's the end of the word from our sponsor, riverhardware.com, where our motto is, if you want customer service, call NRS, because we don't answer emails. We don't have a phone. We don't do returns. Like if you configure, if you look at the website and it's something you want to buy it and you're going to keep it, buy it. If you might return it, go somewhere else, because we really aren't set up to do. I'm like this isn't even a one-man show. This is like a 0.07 man show. I don't have time to do returns and phone calls and emails. I just have cool stuff, and that's really good, and it's for sale. So, but NRS, great customer service. Cascade Outfitters, go buy from them. Downstream River Gear, buy from them. There's a lot of good retailers that have customer service and like to talk to their customers. That's not us. Okay. With that, let's get on to questions. We have a lot of questions this week, so we're just going to hop right into it. Ooh, this is a long one. I'm going to try to read this. I've been paddle guiding, rowing, and kayaking for over 20 years. Most of my rafting experience is on class 3 and 4. That's perfect. That's this show. This show is all about class 3 and 4. If you want class 5, I don't know, talk to somebody else. If you want class 1 and 2, that's not what we talk about. We talk about class 3 and 4, so that's perfect. I have a 1998 high-side raft. The floor is intact and does not leak, but the I-beams have all blown out. I've been continuing to use it on class 3 water since the I-beams failed. Wow. I didn't know that was even possible. I've never seen all the I-beams fail. The one thing about I-beams and rafts, for those of you that don't know what an I-beam is, in the floors where they have a bunch of little humps like this, I don't know if that makes sense. The I-beams are the things in between the humps. And once one blows, the one next to it is more likely to blow. And they're very expensive to repair. They're very hard to repair. And it's a bummer when I-beams fail. One of the disadvantages of I-beam floors, because they eventually blow, and then they all blow, and you have a raft like this guy. Anyway, this person could be man or woman. I don't know. Obviously, it does not track well as it used to, but it seems fine overall. Sweet. That sounds cool. Do you think I should be concerned about anything? Do you think that this floor situation will cause the raft to perform significantly worse in class 4 water? Yeah, I don't think it's going to work as well. I think you already said it does not track as well. I don't think there's anything. I have to see a photo. I don't know. I've never seen a floor with all the beams blown out, but I'm pretty sure they would just design rafts that way if it was the same as having I-beams in there. They're not building I-beam floors is really expensive. And so if they could just make a bubble for the floor, they would just do that and save money and save you money. So yeah, it's going to perform. I mean, I have no idea what it looks like, but I've never seen one, but I'm pretty sure it's going to perform worse in class 4 water. I'm highly believe that. Okay. Given the age of the raft, I don't plan to spend $1,000 for a new floor. You should not. You should just, if you have $1,000, I mean, an RMR rafts are so affordable. I mean, they're more than $1,000, but if you just need a raft for just gonna last you 10 years, an RMR is a good way to go. Anyway, the yellow rub streak is starting to peel off, and I expect that over the next few years, other parts of the raft will slowly begin to degrade. The yellow rub streak is pointless. It can come off. It can peel off. They just put those on boats to make them look like what they thought boats should look like. It's really, those rub streaks are just, I don't know, just decoration. They're not really that useful. But so yeah, I wouldn't put a new floor. Don't worry about the yellow rub streak. But yeah, it's gonna fall apart. It's 25 years old. It's been around for a long time. It's amazing it's made it that far. That's an impressive feat to know that those rafts, those old Hyperlon boats are amazing. But yeah, I don't know. I personally wouldn't take it down class 4. I personally wouldn't even take it down class 3. But if it's all you have, I don't know. I mean, go for it, I guess. Okay. What boat to buy for rafting and fishing? Okay, before I get to I haven't read this question yet. I'm almost sure the answer is going to be 15 feet or 16 feet, because this is going to be one of those questions. What one raft can I buy to do a bunch of different things? And a 15-foot boat is the most versatile boat, I would say, for a lot of different things. It's really hard to buy one thing to do multiple things. Like, it's hard, but the answer is probably gonna be 15 feet. Let's go on. I won the lottery. I pulled a permit for the Middle Fork late July. Hell is frozen over. Yeah, congratulations. Late July is awesome time to go. Looking to buy a boat that can take us down the Middle Fork, but also reconfigured for fishing. Live within a few hours of NR's headquarters. In case that is a deciding factor. I heard you say everyone should be in a 16-foot. All my friends have 14s. We sometimes share trailers, etc. Should I take that into consideration? Okay, I've never said everybody should be in a 16-foot boat. I've never once said that. I have said the answer to what raft should I buy is 16 feet. That's the answer to that question. That doesn't mean everybody should be in a 16-foot boat. I just get that question so much. What raft should I buy? And for overnight trips, a 16-foot is the way to go. Now, you might be R2ing, so don't get a 12-foot. You might be going backpacker style, get a 13-foot, get a 14-foot. You might be paddle boating, get a 14-foot, get a 13-foot. You might have a lot of stuff, get an 18-foot boat. I'm just going to say, for the average person with almost no information about boats, a 16 is just a really solid choice. And I get the question so much, what raft should I buy? And 16 it's just the answer for almost everybody. The advantage of the 15, which I mentioned in the beginning of this, is it also, like, a 16 is a little bit too big for a paddle boat. And it's a little bit big for some rivers, depending on where you live. A 15 can be a paddle boat. It's not a great paddle boat, not as good as the 13 or 14, but it can be. So 15 is that in-between size. And your friends have 14. Sounds like they're doing great. So a 14 is a good size. It kind of depends how much stuff you bring. If you're pretty minimal, you have your dry bag, you have some simple food, you have like coolers, you're bringing a normal amount of like stuff for a human being. A 14 is probably fine for the Middle Fork. And I don't know for fishing. I don't do fishing. Like, I don't fish. I don't know what you need for fishing. You need something. You need a boat and a frame and some fishing rods. I do know to say rods and not poles. I know that much. So about fishing, I have no idea. But if you're carrying a reasonable amount of stuff, a 14 is fine. But as soon as you start bringing these huge Yeti coolers, tons of beer, your umbrellas, you have 3 dry bags full of stuff for yourself. You have a double thick Paco pad and, all kinds of just extra stuff. You really need to go 16. It's just, I see a lot of people with these 13-foot boats launching on the Middle Fork, and gear is stacked so high, and they're sitting so low in the water and getting stuck a lot. And so if you have a lot of stuff, you need a bigger boat. Even go 18, honestly, for a multi-day. But in terms of a very versatile boat that you can buy for the Middle Fork, but do a lot of other things with, maybe paddle boat, maybe fish, a 15 is a nice compromise between a 16, which is a great multi-day boat, and other stuff you might use it for. So I'd go 15, 16, but if your friends have 14s, go 14s. I don't know. That's fine too. You'll probably have a great time on a 14. For me, a 14 on a multi-day is just not adequate. It just, it'll work, but you can't bring a lot of stuff. But if you're going to use it for other things where a 14 makes sense, you're going to be fine. You're going to love it. Hopefully that helps. Okay. I want to go back to this. I just want to be clear. I never said everybody should be in a 16. If you can find proof of that, great. I said the answer to what raft should I buy is 16. It's not the only answer. It's my answer for the average person. Okay. Hopefully I made that clear. Okay. New topic. We have comments. Let's get the comments before we do this. First of all, Thomas, thank you for being a member. For those of you that don't know, you can be a member, pay us a few bucks a month, basically, and support the show. It allows me to buy stuff. Like I buy gear to test out, to try out, and it's just like saying thank you. And if you're not a member, it's fine too. It doesn't matter that much, but it makes me feel cool if people are members. So thank you for being a member. Badfish brand Arkansas rafts are inexpensive. Yeah, I've never seen them. Yeah, they're an inexpensive boat too. The NRS 142 is pretty sweet for fishing. It's a bit narrower than the 140, which is nice for bow stern anglers. Ditto with most of the Air 14 footers. Cool. Yeah, thanks for adding that in. Yep. Yeah, really bum. You said it. 16 is a nice size. It's just a very nice size. It's going to, if you're doing multi-day trips, great size. But everything works depending on how much stuff you have, how many people you're bringing. People are weight. People weigh a couple hundred pounds. So, you know, if it's you and a friend in a 14, yeah, great, cool. If it's you and 3 people, a 14 is not going to cut it. You need a 16, maybe an 18. Willie Bum, as usual, very astute comment. All right, back to here. There we go. All right. Apologies for the taboo question, but here it goes. I saw this link on Reddit discussing drug dogs and agents on the Middle Fork. Can you share your experience? I've never heard of drug dogs or agents on the Middle Fork. I mean, it's Reddit, so it must be true. Maybe ask Mountain Buzz. I bet Mountain Buzz has the answer to this. I'm in the Middle Fork quite a bit. Never seen a drug dog. It seems like that's not to me. I don't see how that's going to happen, but who knows? What kind of agents? FBI agents, CIA agents? What kind of agents are we talking about? Insurance agents? I don't know. I can't tell you that the only people I've seen on the Middle Fork that are undercover are Idaho Fish and Game, and they'll walk up to you or somebody with you and say in plain clothes and be like, "How's the fishing today? What are you catching?" And as soon as you answer them, they'll say, "Hey, I need to see your license," and they want to see your single barbless hook. So the only thing I would be nervous about in terms of being in trouble for by an agent would be some sort of fishing thing. I don't think there's drug dogs out there, but you know, Reddit and Mountain Buzz are the absolute authority in this world. So I would just stick to what Reddit and Mountain Buzz say. Okay, favorite folding knife. I've been watching way too many of your Gear Garage videos on knives. Oh, thank you. I've done a lot of knife videos. And for those of you that don't know, I get in these discussions about knives. What happens, I talk about a knife. I do a video. This knife is awesome. Check it out. It's a folder. It's sweet. And then somebody will say, "Oh, yeah, that's really cool. You should try out this knife." So I buy that knife, and I do a video about that knife. And somebody's like, "Oh, that's cool. You should try out this knife." So I buy this knife. I have a box of knives right here that we use for our classes that we're doing right now. That's why I have them. I have, this knife and this knife. This is the Witchard. And this crazy Spyderco knifey thing. I have a lot of knives because every time I do a video, somebody tells me about some secret new knife and I get it and I'm like, oh, this knife actually kind of sucks. I was bummed I bought it. Okay, so anyway, that's why I have so many videos. This is after I purchased the new, hold on, this. I've been watching way too many of your Gear Garage videos and knives. This is after I purchased the new NRS Pilot folding knife, which I'm not able to easily deploy in a safe way. So NRS has some new knives, and I can tell you one thing. I believe their old knives are terrible. I really don't like their old knives, but I'm hopeful that their new knives are better. They've redesigned their knives. I haven't used them yet. I'm withholding judgment. And I think this comment, the new NRS Pilot folding knife. Let's see the new NRS folding pilot knife. This one. Yeah. Okay. I mean, it doesn't look like it cuts rope to me. That whatever that is that serrations? Is that something else? It doesn't look like a great rope cutter. I would think that the number one thing NRS would want in a folding knife is that it's easy to deploy with one hand. I would think. That would just be my guess. So this person saying, I'm not able to easily deploy in a safe way. And look at this. It's $80. Man. So I wonder if they sell the Gerber knife. Gerber Ease. Yep, they still sell it. Okay. For 51. This is a amazing knife. This is the knife. The Gerber Easy Out Rescue Knife, $51. It's hard to go wrong with the Easy Out. Look at those serrations. Can you see those? Like, that's what a serrated edge, full serrated edge. Those look like actual serrations. This is a tried and true. I lost the focus. Come back, focus. Shh, focus on this. Now focus on me. Yes. So this knife is just solid. And NRS still sells it. Oh, wait. It's on back order. Never mind. Sometimes what they do is NRS they sell something like this, and then they make the competitor and then stop offering the one. But this is the one I'm going to say is like a sweet all-around knife. So to answer your question here, anyway, I'm just going to ask at this time, what is your favorite go-to folding knife? So I'm gonna preface this with we'll get to favorite. The best bang for the buck is this knife, the Gerber Easy Out Rescue Knife. $51. If you want to spend less than $100, this is it. It's a sweet knife. I've had this knife in my PFDs for a long time. I still have it in some of my PFDs. It cuts rope great. It holds well. It's yellow. It's all the things. It's tried and true. Yeah, it's a great knife. Do I have one here? So if you're gonna for the bet, my favorite knife, some sort of Spyderco. This is one of the Spydercos. Better steel, better action. You can move the clip to both sides, both ends. You can change where the clip is, which you can't do with the Easy Out Rescue Knife. So if you're left-handed, right-handed, this is the Spyderco Assault 2. But my favorite right now today, if I had to choose one, it's that one I brought up on the show a little while ago. I'm just going to Google Spyderco Rescue Knife and see what happens. I don't have it in front of me right now. Yeah, this one. Yeah, I mean, this one here. Can we see that? This thing is, I like it because it's a great knife. I wish it was a full serrated edge, but it's such good steel that even though it's like 2/3 serrated, it's still great. It has a whistle, which is pointless. It has a little thing if you push this down, a little carbon things have to break glass, which doesn't matter for rescue. But the reason I like this is it cuts rope great, and it's big. And so one worry of mine when I have a small knife is that I'm small, my hands are cold, I might drop it, it might be hard to grip. It's a big handle, and it stays in your hand really well. It's really grippy to your hand. This has some texture to it. Sorry, this has texture to it, but these Spydercos have even more texture. So, and this is what the texture looks like. That knife I'm showing up there has that same texture. So I think for a knife I can grab easily because it's big, so it's easier to grab. That it opens really easily with one hand. Although this one I've gotten really practiced opening with one hand. That one opens easier with one hand. And for cutting rope, right now the Spyderco Assist is my favorite river knife. Yeah, but given like price is not an object because these bad boys are let's see if I can click on the link. We're talking $170, I think. Let's see. 121. Whoa. Not bad. 121. So honestly, the NRS knife is 80, and this is, and I haven't seen the NRS folder, so I don't know. Maybe it's the most amazing knife ever. So I can't speak to it. But for $40 and 50% more to get this thing, it's really hard to spend $80 on one of those knives. Now that is a knife. I mean, that's a knife. It's sweet. When I first saw this knife, I was kind of against it. I wasn't a fan because it was too big. And then the more I think about how nice it is to have a bigger knife, not only for just when it's your hand cutting, but also just to grab out of your PFD. Yeah, this is a sweet knife. I'm definitely a fan. That's my number one favorite knife. But any of these Spydercos, they're better than the Gerber because they're better steel. They have better action. All these Spyderco salts and these full serrated folders are sweet. But honestly, for the most people out there that don't want to spend $100 or more on a knife, this Gerber, like I said, this should be standard in my opinion. Okay, let's go back to the questions. Hopefully I answered that question. I went on kind of a rant there. Okay, groovers. Montana is removing the pit toilets on one of its permitted rivers this year. Awesome. I love it when these pit toilets go. These pit toilets basically drive people to camp at the same spots where there's pit toilets, and it causes congestion on rivers. And I don't know the Montana rivers. I don't know what river you're talking about, but pit toilets on the road caused a lot of the camping congestion problems we've had in the past. So I like it when pit toilets are removed. I don't think the government should be in charge of pit toilets. They shouldn't be maintaining pit toilets for us. We should use groovers. We're in a wild place doing our thing. We should be using groovers. Again, just an opinion. I could be wrong. I'm not wrong. I've watched your videos on the Subway Fab Riverbank Groover. Sweet. I bought one. There are a couple things I didn't like about it, but I'll leave it at that. Okay. I've used a lot of groovers in my career. I'm going to go so far as to say I've set up more groovers than every single person watching the show right now combined. I've set up a lot of groovers, and I've used a lot of different ones. The Subway fabrication is by far the best thing going out there for a number of reasons. One is it's plastic. And so if it's in your raft and you fall on it, you're falling on plastic and not metal. It also doesn't corrode and rust, which a lot of the other ones over time corrode and get kind of weird. And so that's a huge advantage of it being plastic. And it's like a good height for sitting on. A lot of them are shorter, and it's all built into one package. You're not carrying a groover plus a separate toilet. You're not putting in an ammo can. The ammo or the big metal box. The metal box gets disgusting. I can go on and on and on. And maybe they're not 100% perfect, but in my opinion, they're like 99. We are so lucky they exist. I don't know. That's just, yeah. I plan to use the 780 microbiologic chemical. I keep this on my desk as a reminder because I keep forgetting what this stuff is. I keep this on my desk here to remind myself when I need to order it where it is because I always forget the name of it. But yeah, this stuff is awesome. It is RTB 780 portable toilet and holding tank treatment. If you Google it, you'll find it. It's great stuff. We use it on all of our trips. Works great. Do you find that strong enough through a middle fork trip? Yeah. Yep. Or do you add something every day? Nope. When we set the groover up first thing, day one, we generally only use the same groover. We bring 5 groovers, 6 groovers, 5 groovers for 5 nights. And we set 2 up in each camp. So each groover only gets 2 nights. It's not the same. It's not like we use the same groover all 5 nights. So you open it up on, if you set up on day 1 and open up on day 5, it's probably going to smell. But if you only use it a couple times, or at a minimum, if you use it and close it, it's not going to ooze like poop as much. So we put a little bit of water in the bottom. We throw that blue packet in, and we're done. We don't do anything else. My trip will be 15 people, 5 days. Almost everyone will be first-time groover users, so smell is going to be an issue for them. They just need to deal with it. Like, they just need to get over it. Like, by the way, pit toilets don't smell great either. Like, they're not. I think that actually pit toilets are pretty disgusting. Like, incredibly unsanitary. You can control the sanitation if you have your own groover, but they just need to deal with it. Like, their poop smells. It's their fault. If they had unsmelly poop, they'd be fine. It's just how the world works. Poop smells. I don't know. They can deal with it. So smells me a issue. Yeah, just like, guys, your poop smells. It's in a box of smells. Like, If you can't deal with smelly poop, I don't know. Go back to wherever you're from. Hoping to get by with one vault. Nope. You're not going to get by with one vault. 15 people, 5 days. That's 75 poops. That's a lot. Wait, did I do the math right? There's a 95. Yeah, 75 poops. It doesn't have the capacity. We do 30 people 6 days and we bring 5 of them. You need 2 minimum. That's not like they're gonna fill it, or people. Or I guess if your people don't they're afraid of groovers, they won't poop a lot. They'll just hold it. You might get away with 2, but you need 2 for sure. When we do 4-day trips with 12 people, 3 nights with 12 people, we can get away with 1, but it's close. So 15 people, 5 days, you definitely need 2, and not 2 of any groover. Like you need 2 subway fabs because the capacity is big. If not, 5-gallon bucket and gamma will be the backup vault. Yeah, I mean, backup vault. So you're just gonna poop in a bucket. You're gonna fill that thing day 3. That's my guess. And 5-gallon bucket and a gamma. Whew. All right, I wouldn't call it a vault. It's a bucket. Yeah, that's your option. But I would, if it was me. I mean, I know Subway Fab groovers are expensive. Man, a second one makes life so much better. Okay, we got questions. The seat section sits on the locking tabs and the one I got. I just feel they could be more refined. The seat, my seat section doesn't sit on the locking tabs. I mean, they're pretty refined. I mean, that doesn't. Maybe there's something you did wrong. I don't know. Maybe it's a mold, right? So like these were designed a long time ago. They used to be called riverbank toilets, and the guy who made them stopped making them, and this guy Nate bought the mold and rebranded them Subway Fabrication toilets. Like once the mold's made, you're not gonna like tweak it a little bit. It's made. Like this isn't like it's a plastic mold. You don't like, oh hey, let's make it an inch shorter. Like that's a whole new mold, which is an incredibly expensive thing to redo. So they are what they are. I'd be surprised if yours is different than mine because they come from a mold. And so the locking tabs do seem a little like the first time I saw the locking tabs, I was like, this doesn't seem like it should work. It seems like this is going to eventually break off. It doesn't seem that secure. Having used them a lot, the locking tabs work really well. But I'm not sure why your seat shouldn't sit on the locking tabs. That's either a problem or I don't know what's going on. 15 people, 5 days. Yeah, 2 groovers. Yep. 5 people, 6 days. Yep. That's not going to, your capacity is not going to work. Pit toilets are they're easy because you go up to that thing and everybody goes up to this thing that smells and is disgusting, but they're out of your hands as a trip leader and organizer. You're like, I don't know, go use this thing, and whether it's disgusting or not isn't a reflection on you. When you bring groovers and set them up, if they smell a little bad, it is kind of a reflection on you because you set them up. But I mean, yeah, pit toilets are disgusting. 5-gallon buckets. Oh, interesting. So take the little. This is a pro tip, man. I didn't even know this. So what you're saying is take the little tank out and then put a bucket in there and have them poop. Use the seat on the subway and poop in the bucket. Whoa, that's a sweet pro tip. You can also buy just the vaults, like just the things at Subways. They'll sell like you get 1 shell and 2 vaults, and then just like have swap the vaults. That's a cheaper way to do it too. But that's cool. I like that. Most people are first-time groovers. Yeah, Willie Bum Bum on the Rogue, when they still had the pit toilets, most private boaters had never used a groover. Like most private boaters just depended on the pit toilets on the Rogue forever. And I remember there was a groover cleaning machine, and the Forest Service would report back how many dollars were collected. Is it $1 to clean? How many dollars they collected over season? And it was like $60. When there's thousands of river users. So I mean, there's a lot of people, even river runners, when they depend on pit toilets, they the groovers freak them out. They're not that big of a deal. Like set up hundreds of groovers over my career. It's not a big deal. Wear some gloves. Recognize breathing poop's not going to kill you. It's natural. You'll be fine. Okay. So if not, 5-gallon bucket and Gamma will be the backup. Interesting. Gammas are not 100% water, 100% waterproof. So you want to be really careful with that Gamma. But yeah, that makes sense. That's cool. I like that. I just learned something. So I love doing the show. Oh, well, there's more. Okay. Also with the pit toilets, some of the ladies would discard their products right into the pit toilets. They shouldn't be, but okay. That's littering. That's not following leave no trace principles. I want to eliminate any chances of that happening in my groover. What's your system for feminine hygiene at the groover in bear country? Montana bear country might be different than Oregon, Idaho bear country, but we just have a little paper sack, where you get your like sack lunch, and we put that inside of a Ziploc in case it rains. So like it sits in a Ziploc, and then we clip that. We clip it to one of our ammo cans right by the groover. So there's just a paper sack, and it's not just for feminine hygiene projects. It's for anything else anybody brings to the groover. So nobody puts that stuff in the groover. And we just say, I just say Pete, poo, toilet paper. That's it. There's a little paper sack next to it. Put your stuff in there. You're good. Right. I've never had a bear go after feminine hygiene products. So it's not a thing that's ever crossed my mind. So yeah, I don't know. Scat machine or RV hose, which you prefer? The riverbank scat machine. I don't mind the RV hose though. I've done the RV hose a bunch. I don't mind it, but the scat machine, you just put it in, press a button. You get to watch poop go upside down. I mean, if the scat machine, if it's a well maintained scat machine, if it's a scat machine where a bunch of people have used it, but they've put feminine products in it and clogged it and it's not working right, that can be frustrating. Thanks for all you do. Appreciate the channel. Oh, awesome. Thanks. Yeah. On a side note, where's Aaron and Steve? I enjoyed the banter and debates. It was quite comical and informative at the same time. I changed this, I don't know, whatever it was, like 6 months or a year ago. I stopped doing the shows, the Friday show with Aaron. I was putting a lot of time into the show. Like, because we were doing Tuesday show, Friday shows. Each was a couple hours. Each took a bunch of prep. Each took a bunch of emails to Aaron and Steve to organize them. I was putting 6, 7, 8 hours a week into the shows. And I like doing them, and I think they're beneficial, but I have a job, and I was neglecting my job because I was having so much fun doing the live shows. Aaron and Steve and I really enjoyed the banter and debates too, but not everybody did. I got a lot of nasty messages saying how lame the show was, which is fine. They can just not watch it. Like, that's fine if you think if it's lame, but some of our banter got a little bit out of control. We were bantering more than we should have been, and the banter was getting kind of out of control. So I'm sure they'll be on again. I just need to reach out to them and say, I want to do a show this week. But I've decided I just was putting way too much time into the show. I like the Q&A show because I can answer questions. I don't have an agenda. I'm not coming with video to review or things, which the video review is fun. But I get a lot of questions throughout the week. This is a fun way for me to answer those questions. I enjoy this. But for me to organize a show and like email Aaron and Steve or whoever, it's just a lot of work. And so if I'm busy, I just don't have the time to like executive produce a mediocre show. But I'll get him back on eventually. Okay. Well, here we go. Blair, that's super nice. Yeah, there you go. How many rolls of TP per day or per person? Really bum. That reminds me, man, when I ran into in the canyon and we were running out of TP on a private trip, you hooked me up. So thank you for that. That was super cool. That was lifesaver. Do I have an equation? We don't. We just know we have a dry bag for our trips, and we know if you fill it with toilet paper, it's plenty more than we need. I mean, there are 3 things you cannot run out of on a river trip: coffee, butter, and TP. And every time I go load a trip, I'm like, do we have a lot of coffee? Okay, cool. Put more in. Do we have a lot of butter? Okay, cool. Put more in. And do we have TP? Cool. Hide some TP over here too. Those are 3 things you do not want to run out of. Yeah, that's the way to go, Kyler. Yeah, just get another one of those vaults or borrow one from Blair. That's the way to go. And there's no evidence linking menstrual blood to bear attacks. It's an outdated myth, and it's misogynist and harmful to women recreating in the woods. Oh, I'm not sure if it's misogynist and harmful. Is it? I mean, it's just had bad information. Just didn't know. Somebody just didn't know. But that's good that now we know. Thanks for letting us know. There's no evidence linking menstrual blood to bear attacks. That's good to know. I never knew that there. I never heard that myth before, so I didn't even know that was a myth. I don't think anybody would say that's purposely being harmful though. Okay, another question. All right, Whitewater Rescues book and Astral Indus. Well, Anders Astral Indus PFD is a topic for the show on my agenda, so this is perfect. So, have you seen the book Whitewater Rescues? An ad in my last AW newsletter coming out in April. I pre-ordered one. It looks like a great read. Any comments? I haven't seen it. Charlie Walbridge did it. I'm assuming it's awesome. I think it's examples, real life examples of rescues. Sounds awesome. Like I'm going to get a copy. That's just a good reminder to order one. Also, Outdoor Play has the Astral Indus listed as coming out soon. Okay, so this could be the solution, PFD. This could be the solution to our issues with you having a high flotation vest and looking cool. A lot of you know, like I am a firm believer of having flotation in PFDs. I think it's great. The problem is all of the cool PFDs are low float. They're designed for kayakers to like be mobile, and kayakers are generally a little bit more not as large as Raptors. I'm not saying I'm not sure I said the right thing there. I would say if you took the average fitness of a kayaker and put it next to average fitness of a rafter, the kayaker is generally more fit. So kayaker PFDs are designed for more fit people. We don't have like I'm an example. I'm not fit like a kayaker. I'm a bigger person. So I should have a larger float PFD. But I don't because they don't look cool. Except so I wear the one we call the Justin Bieber, which is the NRS Pro Guide, whatever. It doesn't look cool, but it has flotation. I'm really appreciate that flotation. The pockets are annoying, but whatever. But Astral has made this higher flow PFD. This is a 22.3 pound PFD. We've been hearing about it for months, and looks like it's coming. It looks like you can pre-order it. And this is the first actual photo I've seen of it. It looks like a green jacket. It's just a bummer it doesn't have that cool clamshell pocket. And I wonder why they didn't do that, but maybe they put flotation back there. So, storing it internally, like you're not going to be able to have a knife in that pocket, like an internal folding knife, and get to it with your left hand, probably. And so, where the clamshells, you can have quick access to a knife and stuff. I'm not stoked in the pocket, but it's a cool looking PFD. It has flotation. It's a rescue vest, which I'm sure if you don't need a rescue vest, you can just cut that stuff off. Although you're not supposed to cut it off, but so because it avoids the Coast Guard approval. But this is gonna be sweet. I'm super jazzed this is coming out. I really want one. They're expensive. That's a lot of money. But so anyway, I wonder if you can take a look and give your thoughts. At first thought, I wish I still had the old front pocket. Yeah, same thought. I love the 22.3 pounds. I want one, maybe two. Yep. That's my thoughts. Same thoughts. Like, there's probably a reason they put that pocket there. Man, it's really hard to get a PFD through approval. And so they're probably not going to redesign this. But they had just done the clamshell. And there's maybe a reason they didn't do it. And if they can make one, man, from on my dream list would be take off the rescue belt because you can do rescues with that rescue belt. There's not a whole lot of data of people saving lives with rescue belts, but there was a fatality from someone using one recently. And there's a paper out saying they don't release properly 25% of the time. So I'm not going to talk about rescue belts right now or rescue vests. I just want to say you can rescue people without a rescue vest. You don't need a rescue vest to be a rescuer. And but anyway, I wish they'd take the rescue belt off. We're doing like the one rescue belt free. Do the clamshell pocket. But man, if somebody finally builds in a phone pocket, that'd be a game changer. We're all carrying phones with us. We have phones with us because they're communication devices. There are cameras. I take notes on mine sometimes on a trip. If I like, oh yeah, I want to take a note, I'll write it in the notes. Like, we all have phones with us now. Like, if somebody was just thoughtful, and maybe that cool vertical pocket has a cool phone spot, but if there was just a separate little phone pocket on PFDs, we'd all be stoked. I don't know why they're not doing that. Okay, so wait, let me go back. Any more questions? Is that it? That's the last question. Okay, so, and that was already on my list, Sean. You like got ahead of me. So yeah, this is gonna be sweet. Game changer. All of you that are wearing, like, I'm gonna make a rule of thumb. I don't want to make a rule of thumb. I'm just gonna say, if you're on whitewater that challenges you, okay, let me start over. More of us should be wearing high flow PFDs. We should be wearing high flow PFDs. 15 and a half, 16 and a half is just so low. It's not great. So as rafters, especially, we should be wearing high flow PFDs. And I actually, honestly, I'm going to call this medium float. High float is like 28 pounds. 22 is, I'm going to call medium float. They call it high float. I'm going to call it medium float. But we should probably all be wearing medium floats a lot more. That's a rule of thumb. Like, and as rafters, we shouldn't be wearing 15-pound PFD vests. Now I do, because I want to look cool and they're comfy. I'm a bad example here, but I think we should. I'm gonna make the claim. That's my rule of thumb. We should be wearing higher float PFDs, right? But I'm gonna say, if you're on whitewater that's challenging you and you're over 200 pounds, you should be wearing more than 20 pounds of PF float. Like, if there's a mediocre chance you'll swim and be challenged and you're over 200 pounds, you should be wearing a higher float PFD. I'm over 200 pounds. And so when I'm doing like the Illinois where I'm challenged, or the wind, I'm wearing my higher float PFD. You know, if I'm on the hood and I'm not challenged, I still should wear my high float PFD, but I'm going to let myself slide a little bit and wear the thing that's a little more comfortable. But now that this is out, I can wear this all the time. It looks cool. It looks comfy. I mean, cool colors. It has like that cool red, which is visible. Check out space black. Super awesome. Look at water blue. Water blue is probably the coolest one. Although you probably want to stand out from the color of the water, but not all rivers are that color blue, right? So you probably will stand out a little bit. But like, I just think now the big thing is it's just expensive, right? It's almost $400. So that's where I'm saying, if they came out with one that had no rescue belt, but some of the other things, they could make it $300, they would sell a lot more. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Heidi, any recommendations for a class 5 PFD as required for boating the Grand Canyon? Okay, so a couple things. I'm pretty sure a class 5 PFD is not required for the Grand Canyon. I'm not sure where you heard that. I think they're not class 5 PFDs. And maybe there's something called a class 5 PFD I've never heard of. But they're done by type. There's type 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. As I understand, Willie Bum Bum can jump in right here. Looks like a palm. Not really. This looks like a palm. No, this looks like just a bigger green vest to me. I wish it was more like the palm. The palm is sweet. I think palms are better PFDs. They're just not Coast Guard rated. Anyway, back to Heidi's thing. They're type PFDs. And I'm pretty confident Willie Bum Bum guides in the Grand Canyon, so I'm pretty sure he knows this for sure. You can have a type 3 or a type 5 PFD. Either one is fine. That's all the regulation almost everywhere. Like type 1 and 2, their main goal is to put your face up, if I remember right. Where type 3 and type 5 will allow you to get on your stomach and make progress towards a boat. They're just different ideas. And type 4, I think, is throwable device. All that type 5 means is there's some sort of special thing. It's a unique PFD, right? So by adding this rescue harness, it becomes a type 5 with like, let's look at NRS, rafting. Let's look at a couple PFDs. So, because I get this question a lot. If you look at like, let's find like the customer jackets right here, the Big Water 5. The reason this is type 5 is because of the neck pillow. That's it. I'm pretty sure that's right. It's not type 5 because of anything other than they changed the regular PFD and they added a neck pillow, right? So it's all of a sudden type 5. One of the classic ones that's type 5, the YTV, the like most minimal, simplest PFD that exists, is type 5. This is an awesome PFD. Oh, I'm on some other random website. Where did it take me to? This PFD right here that is about as simple and small and non-intrusive. It's just because, and I've heard because it's over the head, they made it type 5. This is a type 5 PFD, but it's like minimal flotation, minimal protection. Probably I would say like the least protective PFD out there, but also super comfy is also type 5. So going back to Heidi's thing, any recommendations for a class? I'm going to say I can't answer this question because the Grand Canyon doesn't only require type 5 PFDs. And if you want a recommendation for a type 5 PFD, we just did that. I just spent like 10 minutes talking about how cool that Astral PFD was that's coming out. Or get the Justin Bieber, the NRS guide jacket. This is the one we call it Justin Bieber. This one, actually, I don't even think this is type 5. This one, the Justin Bieber, the Big Water Guide. This is a good high float, medium float PFD. It's 22 pounds. Come on, after I play. This is safe as type 3 or type 5. These ads. Technical specs. Type 3. Yep. It's just a normal PFD. As soon as you add the neck pillow, which becomes like that other one, it's a type 5. That's all it is a neck pillow or a rescue vest or some other weird thing. But this is what I wore. Did I wear this down the Grand Canyon? I didn't wear this down the Grand Canyon. But this would be a great Grand Canyon PFD because it's high float. And if you look at the little visible, like has a little reflector. So if you're out at night, you can be found. And it's just that the pockets suck. It's just they suck. It's a bummer. The pockets. And the one downside of this one too is there's little hand warmers on the side that your oar sometimes get caught in when you're bringing your oar up, which is, I wish they thought about that before they put pockets on it, but whatever. Guest jackets are all type 5 because they have the neck pillow. This is where it's confusing. Like nobody, like guest jackets are all they generally have that neck pillow, which I'm not even sure why the neck pillows aren't even floating you because usually the neck pillows are out of the water. Like they're kind of pointless. I don't know why we have neck pillows, but guest jackets have the neck pillow, so they're type 5. And I'm pretty sure guests are allowed to wear just regular kayaker vests. But it would be stupid to have the regulation be type 5 because you just get a rescue harness and you're type 5. Or the YTV, which is like super minimal, like way less safe than this Big Water Guide jacket. People will just bring things like the YTV instead of this jacket we're looking at right here that is really good for the Grand Canyon. So yeah. Thanks, Sean. Well, I think Sean, you nailed it. I think it's time to wrap this show up. There's no more questions. Thanks everybody for watching, for supporting the show, and using the groovers out there. Check out riverhardware.com. The WWTC throw bags they sell, I'm gonna like in 10 minutes go raise the prices because I need to. I didn't realize how much when I come over from Hungary, I have to pay a bunch of money to the government. What are those called? Fees, whatever they're called. I had to pay a bunch of money. I need to raise the price on them. So in about 10 minutes, the price is going to go up. It's just a few bucks, not that much. But yeah. Many folks work Grand Canyon and Justin Bieber. Yeah. It's a great Grand Canyon jacket. There's no rescue vest. A rescue vest would be pointless in the Grand Canyon, right? I don't know why anybody would want a rescue vest in the Grand Canyon. It's got great flotation. It's comfy. It floats you well in those big rapids. Yeah. So type 3 is the minimum. Not class 5. It's type 3 or type 5 ID. Okay. I'm going to end this one, and we'll see you all next Monday. Oh, and get ready. There's some cool new episodes we're about to publish. Tate's back in town. We get some cool episodes with Tate.